Hi there, this is Tracy from Tracing Dreams. Today I wanted to share with you a few ways to use up paper scraps. I've been kind of trying to clean up my craft area here, and as part of that process, I've come across a lot of paper scraps that I need to use up or get rid of. So, the first one that I'm going to go over with you is when I cut pages for journals, a lot of times I end up with these strips of paper, and sometimes they're of the same size, sometimes they're of a different size. So what I do is I like to make little scrappy pads with them. So this one, for example, was from paper like this. And so I took a few sheets and I tore off the bottom. And as you can see, then you have a little pad. And then I use my tiny attacher to attach them at the top. And then I cover it with washi tape. So I will show you in a minute how I did that. But another idea that I like to do too is when you have scraps of different sizes, I put them together and make these little scrappy pads that I can kind of glue in or attach to a journal page. And as you can see, I didn't cover the staples with anything yet because I'm not sure, what journal I'm going to use them in and what I might want to do to them. So it could be possible that I put it on a journal page and then maybe tape this across with some washi or some ribbon or something like that. But yeah, I'll show you kind of how I make them. So I just got to grab my tiny attacher here that I forgot to get. So I'm going to take several of these pages here, and there's two different ways that I did it. So like this one, I folded them in half and then made a scrappy pad. So I'll do that first and show you. So I just take the long strips here, fold it in half, and these happen to all be the same because I was cutting a bunch of pages the same size for a journal. So then you wouldn't have to do this because they're folded in half, but I take my tiny attacher, just do a couple of staples like that. Then I grab some washi tape. And this is also, it's a good way to use up scraps, but it's also a good way to use up some washi tape as well. So let's pick a bright sunny color here for spring. Okay, so then I tend to use these thicker ones, although you could use the thinner ones and this put one layer on this side and one on the other side there. So I just kind of eyeball it. For some of the washi tapes that didn't stick so well, I took some glue stick and put it on the back of the washi tape so that it wouldn't come off. And you might want to do that if this is, because it will stick long term that way. Then I just cut off the edges here. There you go. And then you have a little scrappy pad that you can put in the pocket of a journal. Or sometimes I'll put a piece of cardstock or something on the back, something thicker, cardboard or a little cover or something, and then it can be a notepad that you drop in your purse or your bag to write things down. So then I'll show you how I made one like this. So I took a few more sheets for this one because we're not gonna fold it in half. So I think we'll go up on this side because I like how that is at the top. So I don't know, I have maybe 5 or 6 sheets here. I'm gonna take my tiny attacher and just put a few staples in there. And then down here, probably above this hole here, I'm just gonna kind of rip across to give it that kind of ripped edge look. There we go. And then you could use this for another pad here. So see how it kind of looks like that. And then I'll grab some washi. I think I'll use this one. Oops, got little pieces of washi tape in my washi tape bucket here. So then again, I just kind of eyeball it there, get it about halfway down. and cover up those staples. And you wouldn't have to cover up the staples if you don't mind the stapled look. I just think it adds a little bit of color. So yeah, look at that. Two little pads here. And the other night I was working on these in front of the TV and made a whole slew of them. So then they're ready, just kind of like journaling cards where I can just drop them in the pocket of a journal. So one of the other things that I do is when I get a bunch of scraps, like especially fun pattern scraps and things, like this is double-sided scrapbook paper, this is a scrap from an atlas. I have some paper punches here. I also have a couple of dies that I can use on my Big Shot that will cut paper tabs as well. And then I just go through and I cut a bunch of these and stock up on those as well. So when I want to make or put a tab on a journal, or if I want to include it as some ephemera to go with a journal that somebody they give to somebody or somebody purchases, then they have that available. So for the whale tail punch here, mine you have to fold it. So I kind of fold the piece like that. I stick it in, and then you get, you know, a bunch of those. Then for this one, this is an EK Success one. This one is just a generic one I think I got off of Amazon maybe. Then this one you don't fold. And then I have a bunch of those tabs too that I just fold in half. So I have like a whole box full of them, and then I can just pull ones that I need, or pull them when I need them. Another fun thing, I do this a lot. I get a lot of these atlas scraps because these atlas pages from these big Reader's Digest atlases, I think they're Reader's Digest ones, are very big. So I always end up with a lot of scraps. So that looks really cute when you put it on the edge of the page, and you can even still write on it too if you wanted to label it. So that's another idea that I do for using up my scraps. And again, that's something that's really easy to do if you're just kind of sitting catching up on your YouTube videos or watching a TV show. Then my other favorite one recently is I have a couple of art journals that I started, and I will use the scraps as backgrounds in those journals. But first I wanted to share this. If you guys watched my haul, it was around Mother's Day. So for Mother's Day, my husband got me a kind of box off of eBay of all different kinds of assorted papers and things. So in it, it had this date book, and I'll show you. I left one page uncovered here so you could see. It's like one of those yearly date books, and from 2012. So this is what all the pages look like. So I took some collage papers that he had gotten me, and this paper came in the paper pack, and then some of my scraps. So I had some scrap tea-dyed paper here, some scrap graph paper, and I just covered the pages, and then as I go, I'll end up decorating them, leaving spots to write or put pictures. And so this will be kind of like a mini little journal maybe for the summer. And I folded these over so that there's a pocket there as well. So that is one way that I used up some scraps, and also had the challenge of using something that I randomly received as well. So that was fun. But these are my two kind of like art journal glue books that I've been working in this year, and I haven't had as much time as I would like to, but I'll show you. Those are some of the things that I've made. But this is what I'll do. I'll take scraps and I paste them down, kind of like a master board, a collage, and then later, when I'm ready to kind of use some of my mixed media tools and things, because that was my goal for these books, then I will go and kind of cover them with different kinds of things here. So here I was using some of my, I think, Distress Oxide and paint sprays and things, and just kind of doing some stamping and stuff like that on top of that. So it makes a really fun base for then doing other projects on top of it. So here's one that I had where I did had some pink, what do you call it, like collage paste kind of, and did that on top of it. Here's two or three that I made yesterday where I just had a bunch of scraps to use up, so I put them on there, and then later I will work with them, probably do some other collage and stuff over it, or I can use them as a master board and cut them up too. I did leave these pages blank on the other side, so if I want to cut them up into some tags or some cards or make a cover or something like that, I can do that too. So yeah, so there are 3 ways that you can use up some of your paper scraps. I just wanted to do a quick video to share what I've been doing as I'm kind of cleaning up my craft room. The other thing I've kind of had to come to terms with too is that, you know, I'll give myself a pile of scraps, I'll work with it, you know, over a couple days maybe. Then if there's some left that I just haven't used yet, I got to get rid of them because I just have way too many paper scraps building up and more than what I can use. So do give yourself permission to get rid of some of them if you just have too many. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in your next video, or my next video. Thank you. Bye.